Hello and welcome to Living on the Spectrum 17. Today we are here in Liverpool. As you can see, we are here on the Liverpool wheel, as we're right next to the M&S Arena where the convention centre is going to be happening tomorrow. So today we're basically just exploring around Liverpool, seeing what there is to see, sightseeing. We're now on the Liverpool City wheel, and we are going to I'll show you the wheel and I'll show you the views from the wheel. We're also going to be going to a Beatles bus tour, which is a 2-hour bus tour which will show you around Beatles Studios locations such as Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields and much more like that. So yeah, just explore Liverpool today, the travel day basically, just explore around Liverpool, show you around, show you the M&S Bank Arena when I come out, show you the views from the big wheel, and also show you the tour and the Beatles tour later as well. So without further ado, let's see the views from the big wheel. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Where are we on?
Liverpool on the big wheel.
The city wheel.
City
The
wheel.
Liverpool city wheel. You can see all the views here, can't you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
I love all the buildings.
Yeah.
What is that?
Cavern was made famous in 1964 by a film and song of the same title, Ferry Across the Mersey. Song performed by Jerry and the Pacemakers, and the band also managed by the Beatles' second manager, Brian Epstein. It was also on that river, Christmas Eve 1945, that Pete Best and his family arrived from India on a troop ship to set up home in Liverpool. Pete, of course, being the first of the full-time drummers with the Beatles. But also during the 1950s, Ringo Starr got himself a job working on the ferries as a barman. That was a job that was to last him only about a week. As you'll find out a little later, Ringo didn't like working for a living. Should have been a coach driver. Sorry, Dad. While you're at the docks, you may have noticed the new arena. On the next dock along there, the King's Dock, M&S Bank Arena. The official opening was done January 2008 by Ringo Starr. Paul McCartney's also made a couple of appearances at the arena. November 2008, we're very lucky to host the MTV Europe Music Awards. Paul was in attendance to receive an award for being the ultimate legend in popular music, and it was Bono from U2 who presented Paul this award. He made a fantastic speech. Not only did he introduce Paul McCartney as the man who invented his job, but then went on to explain to everyone that Paul had taken him out on a magical mystery tour in the afternoon in his car. Took him around Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields, all the places we're going to see today. And he said it was quite surreal. It was like being in the Pope Mobile with the Pope driving. It really was quite strange having a Beatle tour from a Beatle. Where the arena is, up until a few years ago, the whole site down there was just a big gravel car park. Now, it did actually have a Beatles relevance anyway. Back in 1990, Paul McCartney did a world tour, which he started off at the Maracana Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He wants to finish that world tour back home at Liverpool. Now, being famous for our music, we didn't have a stadium big enough for Paul McCartney. So 3 weeks before the concert, he sent a team of people down there to build a makeshift arena on that wasteland. The night of the show, 100,000 people turned up. Now, Paul got very nervous at the reception he was getting back home at Liverpool, so he's an hour and a half late going on stage. When he eventually made it to the stage, he made history. It was the first time ever Sgt. Pepper had been performed live on stage by a Beatle. He then sat at the piano, paid tribute to John Lennon with a medley of songs, finishing off with Give Peace a Chance. As you know, Give Peace a Chance normally lasts about 3.5 minutes. On that night, the crowd was singing out loud. After 3.5 minutes, Paul and the band got up and walked off stage. 7 minutes later, the crowd was still singing out loud. Paul and the band came back on stage and joined in with the crowd. Give Peace a Chance lasted over 15.5 minutes that night. Start. But certain things carried on slightly longer than imagined. The show didn't finish till about 1 o'clock in the morning. Now again, that didn't bother the crowd, till he came onto the gates of Kingstock to find that the public transport had finished at 11:30. He had 100,000 people trying to walk home that night. Only 1,000 taxis work at Liverpool. I myself am walking home, all the way to Huyton, with my mother and father, 8.5 miles away. Didn't bother me if the town was only 9. Alright, mate. Paul also came back John and Grant's Liverpool in its first Royal Charter. Very famous photograph of the band playing the back gig on the back of a coal truck. Although it was their first public appearance, the Quarrymen were actually paid 10 shillings, 50 pence for that gig. To this day, the Quarrymen still say they never received a penny. John kept all the money. Local girls made such a fuss about the band. Local teddy boys got very jealous and started causing fights. The lady, who lived in number 84 Rosebery Street, invited the band to wait inside her house. After 2 hours, the crowd was still waiting outside to fight with the band, so she called the police. And although it was their first public appearance, for an audition to join the cathedral choir, he was rejected, told his voice wasn't good enough. He did get revenge. He planned it really well. What he did is he became really, really famous, and then wrote a classical piece of music called the Liverpool Oratorio. 1991, he had the world premiere at that cathedral, backed by the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra and some of the biggest names from the world of opera. But to get revenge, Paul managed to track down the original choir master and invite him to the show. Silly fella came. Straight after the gig, Paul went up to him and said, "You remember me?" He's just Paul. "Sir, Paul, I remember you." He said, "You wouldn't let me in the choir." He said, "No, you ain't good enough." Paul said, "Done all right for myself now, haven't I?" He's just, "Paul, you've done very well for yourself. That's because I wouldn't let you in the choir." So even to this day, the choir master's still trying to get all the credit for making Paul so famous. It was also in that cathedral, 1981, the people of Liverpool were given a chance to say goodbye to John Lennon at a peace vigil. Although the cathedral holds 2,500 people, 5,000 turned up that night. There's put a PA system outside in the grounds, so that everybody could listen to the music of Lennon and McCartney being played through the 10,000 pipe organ, which is also the largest pipe organ in the world. You'll see we've got everything here in Liverpool. Beatles, Jerry and the Pacemakers, 2 cathedrals, biggest pipe organ in the world, and of course 2 great football teams, Liverpool and Liverpool Reserves. You've heard rumours of somebody's bought an Everton. So where's everyone from? So how many English people got on the bus today? Put hands up, all the English. Where's the shy, the English? Any Irish? Scottish? Welsh? Americans? Canadian? Australian? New Zealand? When he was 5 years old, he was given that terrible news that he had to start going to school. School he attended on the left, St Silas C.B. School, also attended by another great Liverpool rock and roller, Mr Billy Fury. When Ringo left school, he left school with no qualifications. Never really spent that much time at school as a child because of illness. There was one time he was taken into hospital with pleurisy. While in hospital, a nurse noted he had a knack for keeping rhythm while he was playing the tambourine on one of the wards. She told Harry decided to buy Ringo a drum kit for his 13th birthday. Ringo then taught himself to play drums. When he eventually left school, he took an apprenticeship at an engineering company, and he lasted 3 weeks. He decided he didn't like getting his hands dirty. So he then took an apprenticeship as a carpenter. That lasted 2 weeks. He then took a job on the ferries, which lasted a week. So you can safely say Ringo didn't like working for a living. but he stuck with his music. Skiffle Group, who later changed the name to Rory Storm the Hurricanes. That's the first band he was playing with when he first went off to Hamburg, where he got to know the Beatles. It's also the band he was playing with when he developed his nickname. Rory Storm the Hurricanes was quite a flamboyant band, so to fit in, he decided to wear a big gold ring on every finger. One day when he came home, his mum said, "You look more like a Ringo than a Richard." So he kept it short the Starkey to Star. Now, as you know, Ringo wasn't the first drummer in the Beatles. In the early days, they used a different drummer at virtually every gig. After failing an audition to become Billy Fury's backing band, they were off to tour of Scotland, supporting Johnny Gentle. The drummer for that tour was a guy called Tommy Moore. Upon returning to Liverpool, Tommy immediately left the band. According to Alan Williams, who was the manager at the time, it's because he just couldn't get on with John Lennon. They had a complete clash of personalities, couldn't stand each other. So I say Tommy just left the band. The lads then decided to replace him with a full-time drummer. They wanted someone to have time to settle into the band and gel with them. So decided to ditch a local lad called Pete Best. They already knew Pete because of his time at the Casbah. The Best family owned the Casbah. It was the basement of their family home, which they'd converted into a coffee club. The Quarrymen performed the opening night and became the resident band, playing there every Saturday for 7 weeks. Pete's done it for them on a couple of occasions. So I said, they decided to audition Pete. Again, according to Alan Williams, they knew Pete was going to get the job. They just made him one of formerly privately owned mansions. You'll see the area is slightly different these days, and now Blaze owns the majority of our students. The area is probably more famous for the riots 43 years ago. But this area also played home to the Quarrymen's first public appearance. Quarrymen, of course, John Lennon's first band, is Skiffle Band, which he started at Quarrybank School. First public appearance took place in this little side street on the left, just here, Rosebery Street. On the 22nd, he's been in love with you, P.S. I love you. It was only 3 weeks later, Doc caught Paul outside the Cavern with another girl. Just threw the letter back at him. When he read the letter again, he realised it did actually make a decent song. So P.S. I love you does come from a real love letter from Paul McCartney to Dorothy Rowan. They call the bells, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. I haven't got a clue what band they were in. No idea. Big, it really is. I did say it's the largest Anglican cathedral in Europe, second largest in the world, second only to New York City. It's the 5th largest cathedral of any denomination in the world, and also the second highest, second only to the Vatican. It actually took 74 years to build from start to finish. And you can go right to the very top of the tower. On a clear day from up there, it's fantastic. So you're right across the estuary, right over into North Wales, to the mountains in Snowdonia. Well worth a visit if you get a chance. Local businessmen, they decided to open a performing arts school based in the famed School of New York. It became LIPA, Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts, known more commonly as the Paul McCartney School of Fame. Royal opening was in 1996, attended by Paul McCartney and Her Majesty the Queen. It was live on television across the world. Live on television, the Queen turned to Paul and said, "Paul, I have some Beatles records." So, well, live on television across the world, Paul McCartney turned to the Queen and said, "It's all right, love. I've got some Queen."
someday.